students, this is Junita Mukherjee from SS Public School. Today we are going to start a new chapter which is called Importance of Air. So importance of water we have already been through. What is the importance of air? Children, are you aware of the air everywhere inside and outside your room or maybe where you go? Okay, so how we are feeling the air? We are able to see or feel the air in our skin itself. We feel the wavering of the air or the waves of the air in the winter season when there is cold climate, and when we go to in front of the sun, we are able to see the reaching of the rays of the that is hot rays from the sun itself, especially in the winter season when we are wearing the sweaters. So the air we breathe in and breathe out is what we call the air. Okay, so without air we cannot live. Without air we cannot dry our clothes. Without air there will be no this communication system. Without air we cannot talk, we cannot walk, we cannot do anything in our life, because the whole system of breathe in and breathe out is there inside in the air itself. And we have so many things to do in our life. Without air we cannot do these things. Okay, so especially without air or moving air is what we called the wind. Okay, the moving air which we feel in our sense, that is what we call the wind. Okay, so air compositions are given by so many things. When we are drying the clothes, when we are feeling that the leaves of the trees went down, that is the trees are when they are shaking out, when we feel the air, when they blow up in the air, we sense the air itself. Okay, so what is the composition of air? The composition of the air is 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and remaining 1% including carbon dioxide, gas, argon, water vapor, and dust particles. So the air is the most important thing, and nitrogen has the major part of it in the air. The major part is 78% made up of nitrogen, and the importance of nitrogen is as follows. It does not burn itself. It does not burn itself and support the process of burning, but it controls the process of burning itself. Burning the plants and the nitrogen helps to grow. Plants cannot use nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. The nitrogen requirement of plants are fulfilled by adding fertilizers to the soil, and leguminous plants like peas and beans have converted atmospheric nitrogen into useful nitrogen compounds with the help of special bacteria present in their root nodule. Okay, so leguminous plants have the root nodule which are present in the roots of the plants, and thus they are able to fix the nitrogen in the soil itself. So oxygen, for breathing and burning, it is like the second majority of the air, that is 21%. All living organisms need oxygen to breathe, and it supports combustion. The importance of oxygen: all human and animals require oxygen to stay alive. Oxygen takes up into the body and burns to produce carbon dioxide and energy, and this is called respiration. Aquatic animals like fish, crab, oxygen dissolved in water breathe in through their gills. Termites, ants, and earthworms lives in the soil full of or used by air trapped between the soil particles is oxygen. And earthworm comes out from the soil during the rain because water fills up in the air spaces in the soil, and there is no air in the earth for earthworm to breathe. So oxygen is essential for burning or combustion. There can be no fire without oxygen. Let's perform an activity to prove that the presence of air is there, dissolved oxygen in water. So there is an activity where we are taking a burner, and in the burner we are taking a beaker in which water is there, it is boiling. You will notice tiny bubbles on inner surface of the beaker. The bubbles are of this air dissolved in water, and on heating the air dissolved in water escapes. Okay, so it escapes out and the bubble disappears from this surface. Thus, it is activity number 3. Activity number 1 we are given as which shows the direction of the air. Hold a pinwheel or firki from its stick to your hand on windy day. The pinwheel will rotate with moving air, indicate the direction on which the air is blowing. Now prove the presence of the air in an empty vessel. We will have an empty glass which is actually a tub filled with water, an empty glass with tub filled with water, and hold the glass vertically down and put it in the open mouth into the tub filled with water. We will notice that the water does not enter the glass easily. Now keep the glass inside water tilt the glass a little. It will you will see that the air in the glass starts coming out in the form of bubbles, and water enters the glass to occupy the empty space. So there will be bubbles forming on the surface of the water itself, and thus the air which is there inside this particular glass is coming out in the form of bubble. This activity proves that the air occupies space and air is present everywhere around it, and it has no color. The blanket of air that surrounds the earth in the atmosphere, it extends up to 1000 km above the earth's surface. So this is how this activity ends. Activity number 4, to show the presence of air in the soil. Put a handful of dry soil in a glass beaker, pour half a glass of water on it, and you will notice that some bubbles comes out of the soil, and these are air bubbles, and thus this particular thing has been done. Now we have performed this experiment to prove the oxygen supports burning. This thing we will continue with this topic, that is to suppose oxygen supports burning. When we are taking a candle and we are taking a beaker full of water, in that beaker we will put a candle which is burning, and we will place a glass inside this particular candle burning. After some time we will see that the candle stops burning when we are tilting the glass over this particular candle. This shows that how oxygen supports burning. Now place a candle in the vessels containing water and put an inverted cylinder on it. Now make the mark from 0 to 5 on the cylinder, and such that the initial water level in the cylinder is marked at 0, while the higher point marked at 5 is shown in the figure A. You will observe that the candle goes off after some time and the water level is in the cylinder rise up to mark 1 as shown in the figure. So the level rises up to 20%. It shows that used up component of air will support the burning in oxygen. The atmosphere becomes thinner and increase in altitude, while the atmosphere becomes thinner and the oxygen level decreases. This is the reason that mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders with them while climbing mountain. Deep sea water can also carry oxygen cylinders with them, because human cannot breathe in oxygen dissolved in water. Now carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, we know it very well, that is carbon dioxide supports photosynthesis. Without the support of the carbon dioxide, plants do not make their own food. So with the help of in the process of photosynthesis, with the help of carbon dioxide, water, nutrients from the soil, and with the help of sunlight and water, plants make their own food, as you know it very well. So looking forward for this particular carbon dioxide, in which we will discuss more things, what is there, and we will discuss about water vapor, dust and smoke, and then we will discuss about the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the air, and the uses of air will be discussed in the next part of this session. So please be ready for your question answers to be completed in the next in the next video, that is after one video, and all the best for your exams. Please be ready for your exams, because it will be starting from in the month of February only, and it will start after in the last week most probably, and we will be looking forward for this particular lesson that will follow somewhere. Next to next we will complete the question answers, and please go through this particular lesson. Remember, summarize the answers which I have already given to you, and looking forward for the next session, next video. Till then, take care. Thank you.